Good afternoon and welcome to the Monday Council Chamber meeting at 1 o'clock on Monday, October 25th. Our call to order. This meeting is being recorded live and is streaming on the District of Summerland YouTube channel. All representations to council, written or verbal, will form part of the public record and be available to the public for viewing electronically or as a written record. Members of the public may access the meeting or participate in the following ways. Attend council chambers in person. Individuals who wish to attend council chambers in person may do so by registering in advance of the meeting by contacting the corporate officer at summerland.ca to ensure there's enough space in council chambers. Number 2 is to watch the meeting live or recorded. Individuals who wish to watch the meeting may view it on the District of Summerland YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/C/District of Summerland, live or recorded. Or number 3, register in advance to speak during the meeting. Members of the public who wish to provide comment during the public comment opportunities found under items 6 and 9 are asked to register in advance by contacting the corporate officer at corporateofficer@summerland.ca with the following information: name, civic address, method of participation, in person, telephone, or Zoom, and further details will be provided upon the registration. Number 4 is request to speak during the meeting. Those who have not registered in advance but wish to speak during the public comment opportunities may be given the opportunity, time permitting. After Mayor has provided everybody who has pre-registered with an opportunity to comment, the floor will be open to those in council chambers and those on the conference line. The conference line can be accessed by dialing 778-907-2071 and entering meeting ID 506-489-9374 and passcode 485186. Now, corporate officer, do we have any late items?
There will be one late item, a notice of motion to be brought forward by Mayor Boot to be added on as agenda item 7.6.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And now for the adoption of minutes. To consider the adoption of the following minutes from October 12th, the Committee of the Whole, October 12th of the regular afternoon meeting, and the October 15th special meeting. Would somebody like to bring this
Chair
forward?
Patton, we have to go back to the approval of the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. I should put my glasses on. To adopt amend the October 25th council meeting or his agenda as present. Councillor Van Alpen, seconded by? Councillor Holmes, any discussion? All in favor? Passed, thank you. Now we'll go on to the adoption of the minutes. Thank you. To consider the adoption again of October 12th, Committee of the Whole, October 12th regular, and October 15th special meeting. Bring forward, Councillor Van Alpen, seconded. Councillor Traynor, any discussion? All in favor? Passed, thank you so much. We don't have any delegations today. And do we have anybody on the line? Nobody on the line. All right. So business items, we'll do into 7.1. And this is the driveway access amendment bylaw number 2021-034. And we have Mr. Bobby Williamson going to be presenting for us. Go ahead, Bobby.
Thank you. Get the slides brought up. Okay, so I think we've all seen this before, as you may recall. This is a proposed driveway access bylaw amendment to do some housekeeping items, add a definition section, and establish a maximum driveway width in the driveway access bylaw. This was previously brought forward on September 27th, and at council's request, we took it to the Development Process Improvement Advisory Committee, and it was given full support at that meeting. So just to fly through this again, we're proposing to add a definition section. I won't go through everything again this time, but as you can see, there's a driveway definition, driveway access, road frontage, and urban residential zones definition. That also provide a little bit of interpretation. This slide just shows the difference between the definition of driveway and driveway access. Driveway access being the portion from the road to the property line, and the driveway being the remainder on the property. As you can see, the first proposed amendment to the existing bylaw is to remove the term single family to align with the definition section that we have proposed to add, only being referred to as urban residential zones. And this proposed amendment to section 3 is to replace the term driveways with driveway access to, again, better align with the proposed definition section. And this is the section for the maximum driveway access width that staff wish to add to the bylaw. Currently, the driveway access bylaw does not contain a maximum driveway access width, and therefore, theoretically, property owners have the full right to pave their entire frontage. So when we added back in March the portion to the driveway access bylaw where you can only have one access per property frontage, this is a little bit of a loophole that some people have identified, that they could pave their entire frontage, in effect, creating a single access with multiple driveway accesses, right? So this is what we're trying to avoid. And we came up with the maximum width of 7.5 meters, which aligns with MMCD, which is the provincial standard for construction documents and standards. And we're also redoing our subdivision and development servicing bylaw to better align with MMCD. So this sort of change in addition would align the district with those standards throughout. There is also a provision for the Director of Works and Infrastructure or their designate to grant a maximum driveway width of up to 50% of the length of the lot line for which the driveway is cited. So it could be more than that 7.5 meters if deemed appropriate. So this is an illustration of something that illustrates what some people have identified they can do with without a maximum driveway width being identified. Some more general amendments to section 4. The section will be removed and replaced with the proper wording. This is just to illustrate that the term road would be replaced with the proper term driveway access or driveway as appropriate. And again here, removing the term driveway and replacing it with driveway access in section 5. And similarly here for section 6. And then finally, this amendment is to remove some old illustrations within the bylaw as Schedules A and C. I believe Schedule C is also an outdated application form that staff wish to remove from the bylaw and treat as an internal function as we normally do with application forms. So in closing, staff recommend that the driveway access amendment bylaw 2021-034 be given for a second and third reading today. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. Council, any questions? May I have somebody please bring, oh, go ahead, Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, thank you. So I imagine there's a number of, once this, if we pass this, there'll be a number of driveways that are then become non-conforming, the existing ones. And so I'm just wondering what, is there some sort of grandfathering provision, or how we're not going around to every driveway in town and measuring the width, are we? So how is that dealt with?
Yeah, through the chair. That is certainly not the intent, that we would be going around and measuring everyone's existing driveways. The wording at the start of the driveway access bylaw, which is proposed to remain, is that the driveway access bylaw is triggered by the construction of driveways and driveway accesses to and from a highway for adjacent land. So it is triggered by physical construction and not anything else.
Thank you, Your Worship. Bring the following resolution forward. That the Summerland Driveway Access Amendment Bylaw number 2021-034 be given first, second, and third readings.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Councillor Holmes? Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? No? Carried. Thank you so much. And I see Mayor Boot is on Zoom. All right. Well, thank you. So on to 7.2, and it's on permissive tax exemption policy update. And our Director of Finance, David Slavinsky, is going to present. And Dave, you're on Zoom.
Thank you, Chair Patton. So the purpose of this report is to provide council with a revised permissive tax exemption policy. As part of the 2022 permissive tax exemption process, council directed staff to request all applicants be present at the council meeting in which the permissive tax exemptions were to be discussed. This meeting occurred on September 27th, and many members of council commented on how they appreciated the involvement of the applicants. As such, council directed staff to update the policy to include a statement wherein all applicants will be required to attend the council meeting where permissive tax exemptions are being discussed. Now, in addition to council's direction, staff have included the following 3 administrative changes. The first one is changing the application process from annual to a 4-year cycle for nonprofit organizations and 10-year cycle for churches, which is the practice that the district has been following. Number 2 is including the 3 categories that are used in grouping nonprofit applications. And the third and final is updating the policy to reflect the current policy format. Now, the proposed policy is being recommended for adoption. And that concludes my report.
That council policy 200.2 permissive tax exemptions be amended as attached to the report of the Director of Finance dated October 25th, 2021.
Thank you. And do I have a second? Councillor Van Elpen? Any further discussion? No? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Thank you. And we have the pleasure of Mr. David again for our Director of Finance in regards to 7.3, our 2022 financial plan timeline. It's all yours, David.
Thank you, Chair Patton. So the purpose of this report is just to provide council with the proposed 2022 budget timeline. In all, there are 7 proposed meetings to specifically discuss budgets, rates, and council priorities. The first meeting is scheduled for November 9th. In addition to the budget meetings, there are 2 public open houses scheduled for December 2nd, which would be the utilities open house, and February 3rd, which would be the overall general open house. The format of these open houses is still being investigated. However, with the COVID restrictions still prevalent, there is a strong chance that the open houses will be delivered through either a Zoom or some type of electronic platform. So the timeline is in front of council for discussion and consideration, and that concludes my comments.
Thank you, David. So council, have you all had a chance to review the timelines? And do you have any questions for our Director of Finance? Councillor Barkwell.
I had in my calendar a meeting this Thursday for a strategic planning, but I assume that one has been moved to the 9th.
Through the chair, no, that meeting is still scheduled, Councillor. Because it's in regards to strategic council, strategic priorities, that is a closed meeting of council.
Okay, thanks. Glad I asked.
So David, that was for this Thursday?
Correct.
Can we please get an invite to that? Thank you.
Thank you. A little confusion, and look how fast we got that cleared up, right? Any further questions for our Director of Finance? May I have somebody bring this resolution forward, please? Councillor Van Elfen.
Thank you, Your Worship. That the 2022 budget timeline as attached to the Director of Finance 2022 budget timeline report dated October 25th, 2021 be approved.
Thank you. And do I have a second? Councillor Traynor, any further discussion? All in favor? None opposed? Carried. Thank you so much. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
And next, we're on to our Development Services monthly update. So it's off to you, Brad.
Thank you. I'm just going to wait till the slides are on the overhead. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Yeah. 7.4. There you go. Thank you. And next slide, please. Okay. Thank you. I'm before you in the afternoon because we don't have an evening meeting tonight, but just wanted to update council on our September activities for our department, like we do on a monthly basis. First slide here is with regards to our planning applications. Year to date up to the end of September 2021. You can see that we're pretty much on pace with other years for the different types of applications that we're processing for the planning and land use side. A little bit down, I would say, in development variance permits, so that's a good thing. If there's less people applying for variances, that means they can go straight to building permit. And also perhaps a little more subdivisions we've been seeing this year as opposed to last year, which is also a good thing, bringing more potential lots to the market within our community. In terms of planning projects, we've been busy over the last month to month and a half on some strategic projects of council, such as the downtown neighborhood plan. We had a design charrette on the Memorial Park concept plan, I guess you could call it, this past October and October 13th, and then also with the Eco Village project, we've got our consulting team in place now for the design concept, and that project's moving ahead as well at a good pace. And also our short-term rental regulation review is proceeding. We've had a lot of engagement response so far from the community on that regulatory review. So I'm happy so far how that project's been proceeding. Next slide, please. For building permits, in September, we saw a construction value of $5,076,000 and a total of 19 building permits issued for the month. Total construction value for the year is now up to over $50 million, $50,549,000, which is on pace if we keep this current pace to more than perhaps double the amount of construction value we experienced last year in 2020. So we are seeing a lot of economic activity within the district currently year to date. And also for the building inspection side, we've also started engaging on the drafting of a new building bylaw with the builder and construction industry. We've got also a survey linked off our website on that. It includes elements of implementing the BC Energy Step Code. And we're also planning a builder's breakfast engagement session with our construction industry, as well as energy advisors in partnership with the RDOS. Probably the third week of November is what we're targeting for that event. For bylaw enforcement, next slide, please. Thanks. For bylaw enforcement, we've received in September 77 complaint files, bringing our yearly total to 841 complaint files. And of that 841, only 80 files remain open from the year. So we've been able to close a lot of those files off. Traffic violations, as you can see from this chart, are the main generator of complaints. So this would include parking as a good example. As well, though, our new good neighbor bylaws often now being the second generator of complaints. So this would be noise and unsightly properties primarily for the month of September. Next slide, please. So you can see here just our yearly totals for the different type of bylaw types. Again, traffic being the higher one. I do want to communicate as well to council that we've been proactive. Our bylaw enforcement team has been proactive with communicating with the winery owners in confirming the sign regulation bylaw that it is to be followed, and requiring that all third-party signage directing people to wineries be removed from road right-of-ways, and will be enforced through the issuance of a ticket or through the confiscation of that signage. And we've been pointing people to the Bottleneck Drive program in collaboration with the Bottleneck Drive Association to get their third-party directional signage in place for getting tourists to their winery operations. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Council, any questions for Brad? Councillor Barkwell.
Can you see me through the reflection of the glass?
No, I can't.
Yeah, so I thought. At one time there was issues with the levels that the building inspectors were qualified to inspect, and there was talk of sharing with the RDOS, and there was a shortage of building inspectors because they had to take additional courses, and it was all going to take time. So where do we stand there with that now?
Yeah, through the chair, thank you for the question, Councillor Barkwell. I appreciate you recognizing that is an issue, that it's an issue across BC, is the lack of qualified building officials in terms of it being a hard to recruit role. And also, yeah, it has resulted from regulatory change from the new Building Act that required, I think it was February of 2021, so last February, that you have to have the qualified building officials, whether you're at level 1, 2, or 3, inspect the appropriate building permits that they're classified for, which previously was up to local governments to administer. So thankfully, at the district side, we have a level 3 building official, which provides us the ability to oversee complex builds like the Oasis project, which is a level 3 level multifamily complex building. But a lot of local governments throughout BC are challenged to find a level 3 building official and recruit one into their organization to complete these inspections. And so some have shared services with regional districts. That is a potential option for us, I think, in the future. But right now, we're okay with our current building official complement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Council, any further questions for Brad? No? May I have somebody bring the resolution forward, please? Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, that's the September 2021 development. That the September 2021 Development Services monthly report be received for information.
And can I have a seconder? Councillor Trainer, thank you. And any further questions? No? All righty, all in favor? None opposed? Thank you, that carries. Thank you very much, Brad. And on to 7.5, our appointment of a fire chief, and I will pass this on to you, corporate officer.
Thank you, Chair Patton. Under the district's fire and life safety bylaw, the position of the fire chief must be appointed by council. Before council is a resolution to rescind the appointment of Glenn Noble as fire chief effective November 5th at 12 p.m. and to appoint Rob Robinson as fire chief also effective November 5th at 12 p.m.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So if you don't mind me asking, I believe that Chief Noble was with us as chief for 11 years. Does anybody know how long he was on our fire department?
Thank you, Chair, and I do believe that total time served, going off memory here, was something to the tune of 31 years.
31 years, phenomenal. That's absolutely amazing. So it's going to be, Rob's going to do a great job for us, I'm sure, but Glenn will be sadly missed. But anyways, council, do we have any questions for our corporate officer in regards? No? May I have somebody bring this resolution forward, please? Councillor Van Elven.
Thank you. That the appointment of Glenn Noble as fire chief for the district of Summerland be rescinded effective November 5th, 2021 at noon, and that Rob Robertson be appointed as the fire chief for the district of Summerland effective November 5th, 2021 at noon, as outlined in the report of the corporate service coordinator dated October 25th, 2021.
Thank you. And may I have a second? Councillor Carlson. Discussion? Councillor Van Elven.
Thank you. Yes, as you said earlier, Chief Noble will be sadly missed. He was very involved in the community through, running the fire department plus emergency services and, from floods to fires to pests and locusts. I don't know, Glenn was there for us and, he'll be sadly missed, but Rob Robertson, I'm sure, is more than capable of stepping into this role, and congratulations to both of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Barkwell.
I was wondering, is there any sort of handoff ceremony or anything, or is it just work as usual? And
Through the chair to Councillor Barkwell. There isn't, but it's not for lack of trying. Mr. Noble served the office very well, but he's also a humble character and has vigorously requested that we do not conduct any sort of formal goodbye of any kind. So have a quiet lunch with him near the end of his term, and that would be honoring his wishes.
Thank you. And I see Mayor Boot in Ontario. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Patton. I just wanted to add on to what Councillor Van Elfen just said, and further to what the CAO just said, in the fact that our chief, or soon to be former Chief Noble, is quite a humble person and really would be not comfortable in having that handoff. But I just wanted to say one other shout out to him, and that is for staying on with the District of Summerland through what turned out to be a horrendous fire season provincially this year, just to make sure that everything was in order and protected as long as possible until we could get past the fire season. So thanks again for that, your many years of service, Chief Noble, and enjoy your retirement. Thank you, Chair Patton.
Thank you. Yes, again, Glenn, from Mayor Boot and the rest of council, we wish you all the best in your retirement, and it will be sad to see you leave. Anyways, so that being said, all in favor? No opposed, so that is carried. Thank you so much. And our 7.6 notice of motion is back to the corporate officer, and I believe this is Mayor Boot.
Thank you, Chair Patton. We'll just hand this one right over to Mayor Boot.
I'm sorry, my agenda shows fees and charges for transit. Am I looking at the wrong thing?
Mayor Boot, this was a late item.
Oh,
it
sorry,
wouldn't
this
show
is
on-
7.6.
Yeah, this would be
I'm
your notice
sorry,
of motion.
that's going on to bylaws. Yes, thank you so much, Chair Patton. Today I'm giving notice of motion that I'll be bringing forward at our next council meeting, which is November the 8th. Council's meeting on the 12th included appointments to the Regional District Okanagan-Similkameen, and that is what my motion is about. And before I bring it forward, I just want folks around the table to know that this concerns the RDOS appointments moving forward, not the appointments that were made at our last meeting. So this is what I'm going to be bringing forward on November the 8th, that council established a schedule of Regional District Okanagan-Similkameen appointments at the beginning of each four-year term, and that one of the RDOS director appointments be the mayor or the mayor's designate, and that the council procedure bylaw be amended to include the requirement of the establishment of RDOS director appointments at the beginning of each council term. Thank you, Chair Patton.
Thank you, Mayor Boot. So if I may ask the corporate officer if she could read us back the resolution.
That council established a schedule of the Regional District of Okanagan-Similkameen RDOS appointments at the beginning of each four-year term, and that one of the RDOS director appointments be the mayor or the mayor's designate, and that the council procedure bylaw be amended to include the requirement of the establishment of the RDOS director appointments at the beginning of each council term.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Would somebody care to bring? I'm sorry? Oh, it'll be on the next agenda, so I don't have to do anything with this. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. So we can go on to bylaws. So 8.1, which is the fees and charges for transit fares. Kendra, I will give this to you.
Thank you, Chair Patton. The fees and charges amendment bylaw regarding transit fares received its first three readings at the September 27th, 2021 council meeting. Before council is a resolution to adopt bylaw number 2021-012.
Thank you. And Do I have somebody that would like to bring this resolution forward? Or I guess this is to pass this bylaw, isn't it? Councillor Trainer. And a second, Councillor Carlson. Any discussion? No? All in favor? None opposed? Thank you. Carried. And 8.2 is financial plan. And Kendra, this is yours again.
Thank you, Chair Patton. The financial plan amendment bylaw also received its first 3 readings at the September 27th council meeting. Again, before council is a resolution to adopt financial plan amendment bylaw number 2021-035.
Thank you. And may I have somebody bring this resolution forward? Councillor Carlson, second by Councillor Holmes. Any discussion? All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you so much. And permissive tax exemption, back to you, Kendra.
The permissive tax exemption bylaw received its first 3 readings at the October 12th, 2021 council meeting. Before council is a resolution to adopt the permissive tax exemption bylaw number 2021-036.
Thank you. And who would like to bring this one forward? Councillor Van Elpen, second. Councillor Holmes, any further discussion? All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. And the 8.4 council procedure bylaw amendment. Back to you, Kendra.
Thank you again, Chair Patton. The council procedure amendment bylaw received its first 3 readings at the October 12th, 2021 council meeting. Before council is a resolution to adopt the council procedure amendment bylaw number 2021-037.
Thank you. And do I have somebody who would care to bring this one forward? Councillor Barkwell, and seconded by Councillor Carlson. Any discussion? All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Corporate officer, do we have anybody on the line? Nobody is on the line. All righty. Council, may I have a resolution to close the meeting, please? Councillor Van Elpen, Councillor Carlson. Thank you. All in favor?